The next 5 days, I'm going to offer short videos about some of the things in the Bible that you may not know. In each of these videos, I'm going to talk about one of the surprising animals in the Bible. Each day, I'll reveal yet another Bible critter. I'm hoping to help parents and families during this time of isolation by helping you spend some time maybe looking in the Bible. You can help me help others by sharing this, if you think it's worth their time, of course. Today's animal will probably bring rainbows and glitter to mind because I'm going to talk to you about unicorns. But I'll be using the Bible's description. You heard right, unicorns. The Greek word for unicorns is monokeros, literally one horn. So it is an animal with superpowers and lots of glitter, right? No, not so much. In Numbers 24:8 and Deuteronomy 33:17, it says that unicorns are fierce and powerful, and they're used as an illustration to describe the way that God works through Israel. Over in the book of Job, in a passage that talks about mountain goats and wild donkeys and ostriches and horses and hawks, all very normal creatures, right smack dab in the middle of that chapter 39, God speaks to Job and his friends in the book of Job. And he talks about all those animals just like they are, normal ones. And yes, some translations refer to the unicorn as wild oxen, even though we know that wild oxen actually have two horns. And I don't really see any reason that we should avoid the actual word unicorn or mono, one, keros, horn. Listen to what it says in Job chapter 39, verses 9 through 12. And remember, where I say unicorn, the New International Version, the New American Standard, have used the word wild oxen. Listen to what it says. Will the unicorn agree to serve you? Will it stay by your manger at night? Can you hold it to the furrow with a harness? Will it till the valleys behind you? Will you rely on it for its great strength? Will you leave your heavy work to it? Can you trust it to haul your grain and bring it to your threshing floor? It talks about a huge, strong creature that is pretty much untamable. And we all have seen lots of oxen that have been tamed. So why not call them as they are? Monokeros, unicorns. I suppose some are afraid to say it because unicorns have been described now, and many see them as magical creatures with glitter and rainbows and everything. But from what I described, I believe the more accurate modern name for a unicorn would be rhinoceros. Can you imagine using a rhinoceros as a plow horse or leading a rhino around on a harness? Now, I do understand that modern rhinos have more than one horn, usually two. But remains have been found in the Middle East, where the Bible was written, of a huge one-horned rhino called, I might have trouble with this, Eslemotherium. Marco Polo, when he was traveling around the late 1200s, he described what he saw in Sumatra. He said there were plenty of unicorns, slightly smaller than elephants. They have a single large black horn in the middle of their forehead. They're very ugly beasts to look at, and they're not at all as described in the tales that we hear as being tamed by virgins. But these unicorns are very contrary to our notions. From the beginning, God has been pleased with his creation. All the way back in Genesis chapter 1, it says God created, and he said it was good. So when he's talking to Job, right there in the middle of talking about the wild donkeys and the ostriches and all the other animals, he says, hey, consider my unicorns. They're part of the display of God's creative power. And even though we don't have them in the world today, except maybe in the form of a rhino that has two horns, it is still a display of God's power when he was showing off. So why don't you take a couple minutes, look up the passages of Scripture that talk about unicorns, and why don't you talk about the things in God's creation that you and your kids and your family appreciate and enjoy the most? I'll talk to you tomorrow.